Welcome to What's in the Bag, where we give the voice to the voiceless and we let you say whatever is on your mind. My name is Marvina and I am your host.
Good morning, everybody. Good, blessed, wonderful Saturday morning, everybody. Welcome
Yes.
to another segment of Early Morning Coffee with Marvina and my co-host. Good morning, y'all. Here we give a voice to the voiceless, and we let you say what is on your mind.
Yes. Yes.
He's good,
Yes.
he's gracious, and he's everlasting. He's true. I had to give it to him this morning. My BFF just said, Marvina, Vina, did we pray this morning? I'm like, I prayed. Did you pray?
Oh yeah.
I bring him in praying, baby. But we didn't get the chance to do a corporate, which her and I is doing.
Yeah.
So we just asking right now that he come into this segment right and just let it give what it needs to give. Let it be all of him and none of us, and that's all we need to say because he's in the midst. He's always
That's
our
right.
special guest. He's
Always.
always our special guest. Every Saturday segment, he's here. Y'all don't understand. Sometimes the power of God is somewhere and people don't see him, but he's here. Believe me. Well,
Yeah.
this morning,
Okay.
before I get started, I had my cup of coffee. I got my IHOP coffee. I love my IHOP coffee. And I got the Delight mocha cream. And of course, a lot of sugar. I love my I'm sweet and I like it sweet. Well, of course, I'm going to introduce to some and present to others my BFF, E.
Good
What's up,
morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Just I've been up and on it early this morning. I have been out, had my oil changed, got
girl?
my car cleaned up. I vacuumed out my car. I'm back here dressed and on the set.
All right. That's that love for our people. We get
And
the awareness out. We be
that's
trying to make
right.
y'all understand how much we appreciate y'all and how much we want to get the information out. God give us ability to create things for other people, and I think
That's
what's in
right.
the bag is there for us to forgive y'all just for information, marketing, whatever needs to be said that's in the bag. We allowing you to empty your bag. Let me say this. I've been up all night. My grandbaby is here. Both of my grandbabies here from New York, and one of my grandbabies he be running a fever. And I was just thinking how I have five and how I used to do this all the time, and now that I got these two and they're young, one is two. I'm like, Lord have mercy, I'm getting old because now I am exhausted. I'm exhausted. I'm like, because every few minutes I'm waking up and I'm trying to feel his head and seeing, making sure he's not running that fever that, they get to shake. You want the babies to be okay. So her morning was getting it together out there but my morning is like, oh God, I got to get through this.
Girl, your grandbaby was a young. Mine are young, but they're a little bit older. They're between the ages of 6 and 13. And when I tell you they had Gma running, they had Gma running. Yesterday, I literally drove to Woodstock to see my 13-year-old granddaughter off for her homecoming.
Wow.
All of 15-20 minutes is what I saw before she left. But
Wow.
that 15 to 20 minutes made the world of difference. Her mother said to me, "Were you in the area?" And I said, "No." She said, "You drove all the way from the Carrollton side to hear to see. I said, baby, it doesn't. I don't care about the time, day, nor the hour. I said, if it's something for for my grandbabies, I'm here. I'm here. They're blessings from God. I ask God for them. They're blessings for me. But like Marvina said, a lot of work because I was like this trying to. And so I am drinking my coffee this morning. I'm back to my tried and true 8 o'clock original. Had to go on and bust it back to that, and I got some hazelnut in here. I have some sugar substitute equal. But my creamer does have sugar in it, so I feel like I'm cheating a little bit today, but it's okay.
It's all
It's
right.
good.
It's okay. Yeah, as long as you keep your diabetical, okay, you good. You just
Keep
make
it
sure
under control. That's right. Yes,
make sure
ma'am.
you check it. After you do it, we want to. It's okay, but we still want to stay healthy and do the right stuff. So I'm good with you just for now. Because Marvina ain't trying to hear
I know. I know. I know.
that. Oh my God. Well, let me tell y'all, we are in the midst of talking about people and all their bags. We've been out here. I'm talking to different speakers about their bags and emptying their bags and all these things like that. And a lot of goods, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, even marketing them. And when me and Yvonne was talking, I said, you know what? It's time to start doing inventory on myself. I just want to, talk about something that, I'm having issues with, and, I don't know, it's probably a lot of you out there having the same thing. Y'all might have the same issues. Y'all might having issues that I, hey, mommy, hey, you know, um, but I really felt that, for me to empty my bag and to do this, I have to be true to self and to everyone that's listening. I can't
Hmm.
ask people to empty their bags and take inventory and figure out their lives and where this play a part in, and I don't do the same thing. And believe me, it's a constant battle and it's a constant struggle. I do all the time, but in secret. I'm not the one to, ask everybody for prayers and all this. I'm just not that woman that if there's something going on in my family that I'm going to announce it. And
Hmm.
I'm not saying it's a wrong or right way. That's just who I am. That's my bad. But a lot of times I had to really think about why I'm like that and why things don't fit like a puzzle in my life. And I realized one thing, and I've said this on several occasions, that I have trust issues.
Hmm.
And I've said it on several occasions that sometimes my trust issues can block my blessings. It could be a good thing in a lot of ways for me because I stay guarded, but bad because my guarded builds up walls and it's not allowing other people to come in and because I'm feeling good morning feeling that I can't trust them. I can't trust people. I can't
Hmm.
trust I got more trust in this little wabbity chair than I do sometimes with people. And I said, I gotta go back and kind of start uprooting it. And I know the first thing to healing is identifying your issues. I was told that, to identify the issue. And I believe, I had to think, is it trust or is it, and I'm gonna call it just not. I think it's trust. I think it's trust. I believe I can, if someone do something to me, I can forgive them. Or if there's a forgiving issue. So I had to look back and I actually did research on it. I was like, okay, what is trust? What is a basic trust issue? So when I went in to find out what trust is, I had to say to myself, maybe, I do have trust issues and what causes trust. And So let's talk about what may cause a person to not trust.
Mm,
Um,
I got a list.
okay. Well, the first thing there was three things that stuck out to me. Now, first thing was betrayal, abandonment, and manipulation.
Mm,
Uh, those was like the three things that stuck out to me when I thought about how not trusting someone or something or whatever the case
hmm
may be. You said you had a ton of them. Give me maybe three of what yours was, if you don't mind.
Um, like you said, betrayal, mistrust, coercion, manipulation. Um, and like I said, when we get to the crux of it, I can list out the individual things that made me become very distrustful of people. And my distrust set in at a very early age.
Yeah, mine too. I think,
Yeah.
and I was reading this thing about mistrust, and it says that it normally starts from your childhood.
Mm,
And like for
mm-hmm.
me, you know, the abandonment issue. You know, you live in a household where your mom and your dad are not together. You see your mom and you don't see your dad, and you wonder. And the abandonment part, it sticks to you even as an adult. You start feeling like, why I'm not good enough, or why daddy is never coming to see me. I remember those
Mm-hmm.
days. I remember, even watching my and let me say this, let me fair warn y'all. These may be things that's in my bag, and I'm not saying that anyone did anything, because we only live our lives the way we know how to live our lives. We can't,
Exactly.
and my trust issue really doesn't have anything to do with anyone else, because but it does have something to do with my bag. So it's something that I have to empty out. I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad, but this is how my bag was. This is what filled my bag. So when you talk about abandonment, as a kid watching, my sibling, my baby sister, and her dad, and how she had a relationship. You get to that point in your life, you like, why or when am I important? Do anyone see
Mm,
me?
yeah.
I'm a child, and my dad is not there. And I felt abandoned. I felt like that's probably where it may have started, but I
Mm,
did, and I'm gonna say I had a great stepdad. I had a great stepdad. He stepped in, did the best he could as far as the relationship I had with him. But every child, every young lady, every young girl, the princess would want love to know that their dad, their not capital God, but lowercase God, because he's like a god to you. He teaches you.
that's
He's
right.
he's your he's you're him. He's from you're from him. So you want to know that you're accepted. So as far as that concerned, I feel that may have started the abandonment issues. I'm not sure, but I had to go to the root of it, trying to figure
Mm-hmm.
out if anyone out there could identify being, abandoned, or feeling like, they're not good enough to be, that daughter, that special person in your dad
Mm-hmm.
or your mom or whomever you feel abandoned by. You start feeling that void. It's not
Mm-hmm.
there. You find it. So I believe that's where my trust issues started. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now as I grew into my trust issues, I can see where betrayal can come in. and manipulation can come in. You know what I'm saying? You start looking for it. Um, and I think that's what I started doing. I actually started looking for things that I felt that people was doing. Let me see. Like I had this one. I read this one. It said, "You focus on negative. People in trusting and healthy relationships are more likely to see the positive in each other, whereas people with trust issues are more likely to focus on the negative."
That's right. That's
And
right.
and that came. Let me say this. I don't know if I'm actually saying that I look for negative things in people. I don't believe that's the issue. More or less, I believe that soon as you do something that I feel that is not right, or I feel that you're not living up to my standards, I start looking for stuff. Like, if I'm married and I see that you hanging out all the time and you ain't got time for me, I'm starting to feel some kind of trust there, and I don't trust you, and I start feeling a way. Okay, I got to get out of this. I'm not here to for anyone to walk over. I'm not here, so I start looking for negative stuff, and then once I find the negative stuff, I play on that same negative stuff. And not to say that all of the negative stuff that I'm thinking about is true. It just it satisfied me to know that I'm feeling a certain way, and this person is showing these type of characters, and guess what? I'm
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I'm
Wow.
just,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And that was in prior relationships. That's relationships. I like to feel that you're in my corner and I can trust you, but it's like I find that if you doing something to make me feel any other kind of way in our relationship, I put you in this box. And that
Mm-hmm.
box is, okay, I gotta watch you. I'm gonna watch you. I'm watching you,
Mm-hmm.
and you showing me these type of characteristics, so I'm gonna watch you. So either I'm gonna deal with you or I'm not. And 96, 97% of the time I won't deal with you. My trust issues. That's my trust issues.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had one who said, "You feel like you have to do everything." Now, let me say this. Right down on the bottom, it's a chosen. This is where I'm getting this from. That's why I got this right here. It's a sign of. It's 13 signs of trust issues. Now I'm getting this from this. This is some research I looked for, and these are where I got. Now this one I could identify. That was one of the things that I could identify, and I know my BFF can identify it.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, when you at work, you think that nobody can live up. Okay, you have a hard time relying on others to follow through, so you
Mm-hmm.
do it yourself. This leads to perfectionism, stress, and overwork.
Oh Lord. Okay, that's me, everybody. Let me just go and throw my hands up. That's me. I'm stressed. I'm overworking. I do. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. So you find, you even like me, they ain't gonna do it. I know I gotta do it. Let me go do it. And,
Yeah.
and and you know something, I find that when you do it like that, it's grudgingly giving.
Mm-hmm.
God says in the Bible you should never grudgingly give, but because I don't trust that things is going to go right unless I do it,
You got an attitude for
I got
days while
an
you're
attitude
doing
with it. All right, well, I gotta do it. I want to do it. My mom can contest. I want to do it. My mom can contest to that, but then do it
it. Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So you don't trust others to get it done. And then when others get it done, it's like, oh dang, I should have just trust that situation to go the way it goes. Then you look kind of stupid, but it's just the fact that it is there,
It's
it's in there.
yeah. Yeah. It's to me it's like a protective in a way for you like for me it became like my security blanket, my protective mechanism. I gotta make the most money. I gotta get out here and do this. I gotta do that. I gotta do this in the house. I gotta take that. and I just didn't feel that anybody else could do it as good as or as fast as I could. And like I said last week, I'm still struggling with this at times. I am a right now person. If I say or ask for something to be done, and I don't see anybody move to do it when I immediately ask, oh, I get in my feelings, and I have to learn that is the wrong type of behavior.
Yeah.
You know, you said something important about abandonment. For me, it wasn't abandonment. My dad, my dad was there. He was there. Good dad, great dad. For me, my distrust started when my innocence was taken from me. I was molested by an uncle. And you as a kid, you learn right from wrong. But if you don't know anything about sex and things of that nature, you don't know if it's right or wrong. You just know it. I don't know, it's like an inner spirit.
It's
You know, yeah, it's a feeling that you get.
love.
And that changed. I went from this um outgoing person to more quiet and more reserved
Mhm.
than my sisters. I and because he did these things to me, I had a distrust. I started to develop a distrust of all adults, other than my mom and my dad. That was it. And my grandmother. Other than that, I didn't halfway want to be bothered. I didn't, I got into books and things of that nature. That is where the distrust started for me. So when I started having children and everything, that distrust became smothering, um, for
Mm.
them. I remember one of my sisters telling me, "Girl, you hard as a parent," but to me, it was I got to protect at all costs. That type of a thing. The other thing that became another thing for me was, as I got older and I developed what I assumed to be friendships. I realized that they were associates and can't even call them associates. I had one young lady that I thought was really, really my friend, and her issue, come to quickly find out that she wanted my life. Baby, you can have my life because I have to work at it. It's not all cut and dry
Okay, your life.
what people think it is.
Mm.
And then behind my back, she was thieving and stole my identity and all this kind of stuff. And that took me years. It took me almost 15 years to get that straightened out. So the level of distrust for me, and then people within your own family,
Oh
some of
man.
the things that they do,
Oh man.
puts sets a puts that wedge, puts that wall up there. Sometimes I wish I could go back to childhood
Okay,
to
we're gonna
where,
talk about
yeah,
this. Well, hold on, hold that because we got you.
yeah,
I want you to stay in line.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, you keep to yourself. Have your okay. So
That's it. Yeah.
hearing your inner world with others requires trust. When you have trust issues, you would rather keep things to yourself than risk trusting else with other details of you. And let me say something.
Yeah.
I had to read this one over and over because I don't want certain people in my inner circle.
Mhm.
I'm most of the time am by myself if it's not with my children. Even with my children, I'm always I like to be by myself. But I had so many issues where I tell people things and my dad said it to me the first. If you can't keep your own secret, why you
Mm.
want somebody else to keep your secret?
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, that was a turn for me when I heard that because now it just made it even easier for me to stay to myself. I can't, if I can't trust people with what is going on with me and I find that this is something that they go and talk to others about you know,
Mm.
or if there's something going on and I'm speaking to someone else about some situations and someone else comes to me and asks me about that situation, you will never hear it from me because I don't trust other people with
Yeah.
other people's secrets. I don't trust
You
people.
ain't never.
Yes. I don't trust because they find a way to manipulate it.
She
They
is the
hear
she
only
is
what
the
they want to
guardian,
hear.
and she is the guardian and safekeeper of all. Yeah, I've known her for almost 20 years, and there are times I hear some stuff, and I said, "Wait a minute, she knew, but I didn't know." She holds it near and dear to her
Yeah,
chest.
because it's a thing for me. I treat people the way I want to be treated.
Yeah.
If I talk to you and me and you in a conversation, that has nothing to do with the other people and what they got going on. Now, if you want that person to know, you go to the source and ask the
Well, yeah.
question. Because just as well as I can tell you whoever is the horse can tell them yourself. They can take it right out their own mouth and give it to you. But when I find that I give you conversation and we're talking and I hear it from someone else or something comes up where I find that it's a similar conversation that I had with you, I stop trusting you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have a problem with that. I have a
Yeah.
problem with people taking my actions and flipping it and making it seems that I have bad intentions.
Mm-hmm.
I stop trusting you.
Yeah.
I try my best to see. I only know how to love the way I know how to love. I mean, even when I'm in church or I'm home or whatever, I hug and love on you. I respect you. I give you all the respect. But when people see a person like me, sometimes I could be a little submissive. Sometimes they take the wrong. They take the wrong views of me. They think I'm just one of those ones that I kick over. I'll talk. I just, I'm bougie. I'm this. I'm a loner. I have always been in my own way a loner, even as a kid. Everybody else chilling and having fun out there, enjoying their lives, going to the parties, dealing with the school stuff. I was at home in my room. I never really interacted too much with anybody. And I don't know if that was a problem because I was secretive about who I was, if I didn't want anybody to know, or was it a problem that I just didn't know how to be that person?
Mm.
I didn't know how to be part, So, and that came from what? Abandonment. I scared that if somebody got to
Mm-hmm.
know me, they wouldn't want to be my friend. They would abandon me. I would
Mm-hmm.
never have that person. That's why my little mind as a kid and now as even an adult, if I release who I am, will they use that against me? And I was told that too. You don't tell everything. You don't tell your husband everything. You don't tell people everything because if you do, they hold it against you.
Ooh. And I know that to be fact.
So I learned that behavior and it became a I can't trust you thing. Um, and don't get me wrong. If it was somebody that I find that I have no reason not to trust them, I will. I'll give them a break. I will trust you until you show me differently.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you one of them type of people that I see you running to me and talking about somebody all the time, and then
Oh,
you
I
all
look
up
at
in
you.
that person's face all the time, and every time I look
Mm-hmm.
you on, you got somebody I don't like. They doing this and they doing that. You all up in their face. So every time I see them, I don't trust you. To
Exactly.
a certain extent. Now, man, you could be cool. You would never know. But I believe in knowing that if you want to talk about that person to them, to
You
me,
talking about me
you
to
can
them.
talk to me, yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you let me do something you don't like, you'll run right to
Mm-hmm.
that person that you've been talking about. See, that's a trust issue.
Yep.
Because I don't trust you enough to, and I only allow you in a certain way. We can talk to each other all the time, but you will never know because I'm only going to allow you in to a certain extent. Because
Mm-hmm.
I really know in deep down inside that you ain't. You only for me when it's convenient for you. You ain't for me, or for
Mm-hmm.
us. You know, if I'm agreeing with you, we're cool. But when I'm not agreeing with you, you're not cool. I have trust issues. And I
Yeah.
pay attention to that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So is it bad? Yeah, I guess because but I learned to forgive. Even when I don't trust you, I forgive you. I forgive you when you did it. Be honest with you. Because I still deal with you. We might not talk weeks later, but I still forgive you but I know how to
That's
deal
right.
with it. That's just
Mm-hmm.
that's
Out
my
of a out of a long handled spoon. The
I know.
conversation is
Yep,
different.
yep, and I
Mm-hmm.
know what to say to you. I know how to say
Yeah.
it. I know to agree. I know when to draw back. I know when to listen to what you're not saying. I get
Mm-hmm.
all of that. Because that's, being by yourself. Don't think just because I'm by myself, I ain't doing nothing. I learned to pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
When you're visual and you're not audio all the time, I can listen to somebody tell me something, but then I'll be paying attention to what they're not saying. I'm good for that because then I realize right then and there, I don't trust you. That's an issue.
Mm-hmm. Is it an issue more so, or a protective, a way of being protective too? Because out of the mistrust, we've learned to protect ourselves. Think about like the person who you can't tell anything to, because they're gonna always run back, go tell that, or be trying to play both sides of the fence, and over here and then over there. But you already peeped that game, so you already know how to handle that situation. So out of that mistrust comes a way of being able to protect yourself at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But I realize people are people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And most of the time when they harm you, they realize that this is just who they are. And especially if it's a reoccurring offense. If it's something reoccurring,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? You don't
Mm-hmm.
realize this, but people tell on themselves without even knowing they're telling on themselves.
Yeah. Only thing you gotta do is just listen.
And pay attention to how they treat you.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things I learned from you is when you said to me, I remember, like I said, a lot of people that tune in know that I've had anger issues, and I struggle with that. And I remember Marvina saying to me one time, she said, "You're just so angry." And she said, "You have to start to identify the reasons why." Trust was at the top of the list for me, at the top of the list. And I used to struggle with why people do the things that they do. And I had to redirect that energy and say they're going to be who they are. And because of the level of trust or distrust that I have in them, then I know how to better handle and deal with those situations.
Hmm.
Had you not put those had you not said that about people are going to be who they are, my thing was I thought I could change everybody. I could change their behavior. I can't. I can only change me. I can only work on me. I can only continue to grow. Um so that was powerful. That was powerful for me, with that,
Hmm.
and it really changed a lot for me.
Um, and this right here was a big one for me because at first I said, you know what, this is certainly could be, this is true. You find yourself in relationship with untrustworthy people. They basically, can you expect certain things to happen in the case of having trust issue, being betrayed? Your subconscious mind will seek out those situations. You seek, you
Mm,
should find. And sometimes I wonder if I draw those type of people to me.
mm,
Because if I have a trust issue, that's who I am. They had this book called Laws of Attraction. I don't know if many people have read it.
mhm,
I like to go beyond just reading Christian books. I want to hear even what the people talk about. If they say they read cars, Buddhism, I just want to know. And I think
mhm,
Jesus did too. That's why he was so crafty in what he did. and who
Mhm.
he was. Not only was he in touch with his spiritual who he was, but he had to learn the earthly part of us too. So he
That's
didn't
right.
really start breaking down, oh, this was a wrong or right relationship to God. He just tried, he brought us together in getting the relationship of this world, us living this worldly life to get
Mhm.
to become a part of the heavenly life. That's when he came in. But let me say this. I really believe that, like that book says, laws of attraction. You attract what you believe. If I'm believing that people ain't trustworthy, then I'm gonna get untrustworthy people in my life. It's like circling. If I be around people, a whole lot of poor behind people, I'm gonna be poor. If I'm around a lot of rich people or people that has money or want to
Yeah.
be successful, you attract those things. So I believe,
Mhm.
you find those type of people. You be around those type of
Yeah.
people that you can't trust.
Remember how your parents used to always say, um, surround yourself with like-minded people. That's a very true statement.
That's the
Yeah.
bag.
Yeah.
Your like-minded people is people that you don't trust. That's who you're gonna be around. I'm working on this. I'm telling y'all, I'm working on this
Mhm.
because I was saying, Lord, what is it? What? Please just give me the understanding where I can start building myself to be a great Christian woman and being in alignment of what you want me to do. So I have to strip myself down first. And first things first is dealing with issues, which is one of them is not trusting. I have an issue with trusting people. And
Mhm.
sometimes I wonder if I just is am I actually believing that because I don't trust them, I keep saying it like this because it's so weird to me. I do forgive them. Okay, I forgive. Um I always wonder if that's what my issue is, if I just don't forgive
Mm.
these people. Even when I forgive them, them continuing to do the same things, and like I said, people are people. They're gonna do what they want gonna do, and some of them might see something in you that they don't like. Some might see something in you that they like and they won't.
Mm.
Some people might just don't like themselves. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of gotta stop letting other people come in and being part of me not trusting them because it's becoming very lonely. And I found that people that don't trust people are lonely. A lot of people that doesn't they can be very lonely because you so busy trying to pick out the bones and find the bones out of the meat, and you forgetting that the meat is there because that's the nourishment. It's not the bones. You got to allow the bone, throw the bones away and just eat the meat.
Mhm.
Eat the meat. Even
And
if I'm
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to just comment on what you said about the forgiving part. Continue to forgive. I'm gonna tell you something. And I wish I would have taken a dose of my own medicine years and years and years ago. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and waiting on the other person to die. I was so bitter, you know, and angry for years. You know this. And I feel that certain aspects of my life would be much different if I had forgiven people a long time ago. I was haunted by so many different things. So many different things because I held on to it and I didn't forgive. But when that breakthrough came and I started to forgive, it was like being reborn, like a renewing, a refresh. I can't even really put it all into words. It was like a whole new being, a whole new world. That song, a whole new world. I really can't make this up. I saw clearer. I functioned better. So and I think that's one of the most beautiful attributes about you. your ability to forgive and move beyond. Don't don't stop doing that, because when I tell you that bitterness gets in and it starts to harden your heart, your spirit, and your soul, that's not something that you want.
Yeah. I don't, I don't have, like I said, I don't have a problem with forgiving people because God said I have to love everybody. In whatever their circumstances, whatever that I feel might be an issue to me, it may not be an issue to others or whatever the case may be. People are going, like I said, be who they are. I'm not trying to change anybody, but I'm trying to change my way of seeing people, um, and the way I see things, so my blessings can, continue to flow. Now, don't get me wrong. Just because I don't trust you, don't mean I'm not being blessed. Sometimes even not
Just
trusting
say it.
you keeps me grounded to know that there's somebody else got to fill them shoes, or there's somebody else that I can trust, that I don't have to really put my efforts and emphasis on you liking me or wanting to be bothered with me, or you know what I'm saying? It's just easier for me. But I don't want to feel like nobody is out there, hurting me either, and I'm supposed to just keep on turning the cheek, and you slapping me
Mhm.
on that face, and then I'm turning the cheek and you slapping me on that face. I can't. It's hard for me to do that, so I can't trust you enough to put my face near you anymore.
Mhm.
So most of the times I'm dealing with you, from afar, and it's okay.
Mhm.
My
It's
pastor
okay.
said sometimes we, just because we're together, we could be in a family member or work together or in church together or whatever the case may be. We don't always have to interact. Well, I'm not in
That's
that
right.
manner, but I
That's
know
right.
I still don't trust you enough to even want to interact with you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I force myself a lot of times to do things, because it's like an angel on one and a devil on this one.
Mhm.
Person, look how they treated you. They don't like you. They just pretending to be your friend. And watch, they'll be cool with you when you're not around. I mean, when nobody's around. But when you round other people, they
Yes.
don't have nothing to say. They treat you. They turn their back. They don't even
Like
have.
you're a stranger.
Yeah. But then the angel on me is saying, you know what? They see something in you that they don't like. You ain't got to worry about what they feel, and they ain't got nothing to do with you. Guess what? They ain't
That's
putting
right.
a roof over your head. They're not doing anything more than just being who they are. So it's like a fight for me. But in the meantime, between time, I'm still forgiving you, and you said something to me one time. You feel like you need these people, what was the word? You
Validation.
validation.
What makes you feel that you need their validation? I said,
What?
think on
Yeah,
that.
you asked me that, and I don't. I
Mhm.
don't want no one's validation. All I like to do is feel like I'm included.
Mhm.
You don't want to always feel like you on the outskirts. You want to feel
Exactly.
like sometimes you're a part of. And see,
Mhm.
when people do these things, like that's part of a manipulation. How they single you out and leave you out of all the reindeer games, and everybody else enjoying their life. And then you wonder why. You look at yourself
Mm.
and say, why ain't never
Yeah.
invited? Why am I
Mm.
always now, the only time you get any accolades is when you do it, or if somebody, you make it happen. But when
Yeah.
it comes to other people and making you feel part of what they got, that's a part of
Yeah.
manipulation, and I have that happen to
Yeah.
me
And
many
I've had that to
many
happen a
times.
lot. Yeah,
Yes.
especially in my family. And you and I took you and I spoke about that. And I'm gonna tell you something. It was a very hurtful experience. Very hurtful experience. Um to be left out of
Right.
family, certain family things and so on and so forth. Um it just but it opened my eyes to say, okay, I see you and I understand. And so that trust is so many different levels of trust and distrust. So many levels of it.
Let's talk to some people. Okay, good morning, Auntie and Miss Yvonne. Lack of trust for me as an adult came from childhood broken promises from my dad. It started there. Unfortunately, people don't realize how deep rooted. And yes, baby, you saying that? That's right. And
Mhm.
it starts. I can go with the abuse. I mean, yeah, I went through the molestation. As a kid, other people doing things to me, hurting me, grown men, those type of stuff. I got a book of it too. I'm be honest with you. I can relate to her bag. I got those bags too, me and her. But when it came to my dad, I think that was the ultimate for me because you know and no, like I said, no issues with my stepdad who has raised me, and I believe in God because of him, and I
Mhm.
follow behind him. I love him. But when it came to my dad, his whole relationship with God, of his understanding, was a lot different from mine. And I didn't
Mhm.
understand. I used to think because I wasn't a Muslim or I wasn't this person that's why I wasn't accepted.
Mm.
And when my niece said it, she said it. It's a rooted issue,
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
feeling like you are good enough to be part. And be abandoned and don't want to be. And let me say this: they're not even thinking that. They're just
Mm.
living. They're not living the way they know how. And we can identify with just living because our children one day will go back and say, you do this and do that. Because that's just, there's no
Yeah.
right. We don't know how to do this. We only go by experience.
Yeah.
So, but in the meantime, between time, we get affected by the choices and decisions of our parents or whomever that is raising us, our guardians or whoever. That father-daughter relation is critical to the development of a woman. The father is the blueprint for how a woman should be treated by a
Mhm. And
man.
that is so true.
And I wonder, in my choices of decisions when I dealt relationships, most of the men that I had dealt with was always older men. I always looked at my mom, and in either they had to drive nice cars. They had to. It was certain things I looked into my relationships with men because I watched not how my dad treated taught me how to be a man, but I was watching my mom.
Mm.
So I wonder what would happen if there was a balance. Because be honest with you, there really wasn't. The God of my real understanding was God, my own mate. I think that's the reason why I'm such a church and I love to go to church because he have never forsaken me and made. I always felt that I had a connection and I needed a connection with something other than me. But when
Mm.
you don't have that human connection like your dad, it makes you feel something like, dang, what I'm here
Yeah.
for. Why
Yeah.
was I even put on this earth? Maybe for just a time as this right
Mhm.
here. Let
All right
me
now.
say
All
what Miss
right.
Tracy said. By being hurt more than one time, you put your life into someone's hand and they deceive you. And then there is a pattern. So you lose trust in people, especially a male or female companion. Crown and Gration, I have been through these patterns and it was hard to trust again.
Yeah.
That right, Mom? It's hard. And then then you look for it in the other relationships because you don't if you once it start, it seems to me like it's a never ending thing until you identify with it. Unless you identify it and try to change it, normally you go through your life not trusting. Because a lot of people don't really identify the issue. They just live the issue.
Mhm.
And we have to
Wow.
identify with it. Identify with it. And trust is a big thing, especially for a lot of women. My baby said, yes, Mom. Love you, bye. Miss you, girl. What about when you realize that you can't even trust some family members?
Yeah. Ooh.
Same goes. with the outside people. You know, we are one body. We're one body. The pastor told us this. You might be a hand, and that might be up there. They might be a foot. But let me say this. You might need that body to be complete. You need that hand and that foot to be completed because that's the family.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
you don't need your hand to make your foot work. So you got to understand what work and what position that you hold with that person or that in that body.
Ooh. And I've had to do that, and I'm going through that now. You know that.
Okay?
Wow.
Now, I'm sorry for everybody to pull up my foot because I had to get a point
It's
across.
so crazy. But
You know what I'm saying?
that's a very good analogy though.
That's how you can find out. You ain't just because we family members don't always be friends. We all just like someone was birthed by somebody out there. We're all individuals. Don't mean and my bag might not be the content of your bag. Our bags probably can't even compare up to each other.
Yeah.
But even if it's family members, you got to treat people, accordingly. You got to. You just got to understand that everybody's not there for you and everybody's not to be trusted. They
Exactly.
were always talking about it's the enemy, it's the enemy doing this and the enemy doing that. He coming in to weaken our family. He coming in to. Sometimes it's not just the enemy, it's the enemy, it's the person. Maybe y'all just not equally yoked. No, just
Yeah.
because you family don't mean you're always equally yoked. No,
Yeah.
always be
Yeah.
friends. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But we respect each other. That's the key thing. Respect. Even if you don't trust them, still respect them.
Still
Because you
respect.
don't want to treat nobody, you don't want nobody to treat nobody the way you don't want to. If you don't want to be treated that way, you don't trust them. Don't go in there and start spreading rumors and hurting them and all that stuff because they ain't nothing but another way of just keeping a whole lot of mess going on. So if
Mess
it's
and
a family
confusion.
member that you have an issue with, so sorry. Let me tell you, we all do. Every one of
Yeah.
us. Every one of us have an issue with a family.
No family is immune.
Yep, somebody even said family pretends to like you also. They sure do. They
Somebody
sure
wait a minute.
do. I
Somebody
don't know who I
said,
wish should have put your name.
wait a minute, hold on. Let's
Somebody
look at
said
this one.
the family is the
And I'm gonna tell you something, y'all. We're not laughing at the comments. We're laughing because we have had these conversations behind the
She's not
scenes.
like she's not laughing because of the comment. I'm laughing because of the comment because it's so true.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. We've had these conversations behind the
Yes.
scenes.
Yes.
If you guys could be a fly on our wall,
Mm.
you guys would be like their conversations are deep. This is a very scaled down, diluted version that you guys are getting on. That you guys are,
Nice
getting
part.
on the
Yes.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
it's really hard right now
yeah.
to trust, Okay, Soraya, she said very relatable. My dad was very impactful in my journey. A lot of decisions I made were because of lack of things I knowledge. Lack of wait, let me say it again. I'm sorry. I made I made I've made where were because of lack of things I have knowledge about from my dad. But now that my dad has passed, I can say his spirit in me has guided me through so much. I'm sorry I
Mm.
messed that up, but I get it.
Oh,
Maybe her relation. She said her relationship,
I
as a
love that,
kid,
Nisi.
when she was impacted by her father,
Yeah,
but now that she's gone, she knows what he's saying in impactful times has
hmm
manifested. Now she can spiritually understand instead of just
hmm
a physical understanding. And I get it.
Drawn his
My dad,
spirit.
my
Yeah.
dad is here. My dad is still alive, and I'm able to speak to him and get that relationship. And soon get to go to. I want to go see my dad so bad. I'm trying to get to Pennsylvania because I
I
want
can.
to get to see my daddy. But one great thing about it, which I'm grateful for, is my God has given me the ability to get a relationship with my dad. It ain't like he left here
Yeah.
and I'm grateful to that. I'm just letting y'all know where my mistrustment came from, but does not mean I don't want to have a relationship with the
Yeah.
man who helped bring me on
Bring
this
me here.
earth.
Yeah. I can relate to Nisi Poo. I can relate to what you are saying, Soroya, because when I lost my dad, it seems like my connection with my dad grew stronger since he's been gone.
Yeah.
And his spirit, I mean, just so many different things, situations, and circumstances that I've come across, his spirit has guided me through. His words of wisdom play back to me where I didn't truly understand it while he was here, but by God, I understand it now, and those words of wisdom come back in those pivotal times. You
Yeah.
know, those times when I truly need to hear His voice. It comes through, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe
And
that's what you get
yes,
about it.
yes. My baby said yes. Yeah, I say it too. And, I mean, I'm now. Let me say this. Now is for the healing process for me. I understand.
Yeah.
I kind of get it. And I'm still going to get some more. I'm not going to put this down just because I spoke to y'all about it. It's something that I'm still working on, trusting. But it's all a process, and I'm not trying to change this overnight. Now that I kind of identify with it, now it's part of the healing now for me.
Hmm.
Um, I
You
just love
can't change it overnight. It's not instant coffee.
it's not going to work that way anyway because you got to
Uh-uh.
want it really bad to work on
Yeah.
it. Like anything, you got to grow into it. Can't plant a seed and think you're going to see the flower the next day. You got
My
to keep
counsel.
growing it
That's right.
and
My my
nourishing it.
counsel. My counselor told me. She said, "You didn't get this way overnight. You're not gonna heal overnight."
Yeah, of course not. We don't never.
Yeah.
I don't see too much anything that is done overnight sticking anyway. It needs to marinate. I have to. Let me stop saying
I'm
you.
with you. I'm with
I
you.
have to work on,
Yeah.
dig up, continue to dig up what the issue is and replant some better seeds
You
in
better
that.
go on to grow that garden,
Yeah,
girl.
that garden's gonna be good. Girl, that's gonna be a
You
good garden.
better
And I wanted to have a lot of purples and oh my, royal.
go.
You gotta say it.
Yes.
Man, that garden's gonna be wonderful. I just want to thank everybody, for coming and being a part of our early morning segment on What's in the
Yes.
Bag. Y'all make my heart. I love you. Watch us as we continue to grow. Share
Yes.
this when you get a chance. Let people know that we're there. We're on What's in the Bag on Facebook. What's in the Bag? We're looking for people to come in and share what's in their bag. It's a slow process, and I know everything that's good don't always rise really fast. You gotta let the cake keep on baking, and then when it rises, it's gonna be some good stuff. Well, that's how I feel about what's in the bag group, baby. We're gonna continue to rise slowly but
Yes.
surely. It's not supposed to be fast because whatever's fast not always good for you. I
That's
find
right.
that to be the truth. And then also we have our Facebook directory. We're asking people that got some stuff that you could just post on it. It's a public post. It's public for you to post whatever you want. Join What's in the Bag directory. Now the difference between the What's in the Bag, you'll see it says it's What's in the Bag without the question mark, but the directory is What's in the Bag with the question mark.
Question mark.
There, if you join, you can post, you can talk about whatever you want to post on there. You got some services you want everybody to know, events you want to know. Please get on there and join it, post it.
Hmm.
Yes, still we are rising. That's right, First Lady Miss Brenda. That's my Miss Lovey. I love you, girl. Thank you. Thank you for joining in. Oh my God, I feel so special. She's a woman in my church. She's a woman I look up to. Miss Lovett, you know I love you, lady. Thank you so much for joining in. We also on Twitch.
Hmm.
Twitch 21, What's in the Bag 21, if you all them gamers who likes to watch Twitch. And of course on YouTube also, all you YouTubers who coming on and looking at our segment. Thank
Yes.
y'all for being a part of YouTube. Follow us. And we get ready to get up out of here because I know right now you got
Yes.
some place, you got somewhere to go. and
Yeah,
get, and I know it's going to be a good trip because you're with your family, but a one will be a sad one because you actually laying to rest a good friend. But God
yeah.
bless you, and safe trips, BFF.
All
Y'all,
right, I
y'all,
appreciate it.
I love along y'all in there. Make sure you get enough bathroom breaks.
I'm gonna stay healthy. I
You
understand
know,
what you're saying.
make sure you
I
check
got you.
good, check everything. Keep cool now.
Yes, ma'am.
All
I
right, I love
understand.
you, BFF. And you
Love
got
you too.
anything to say to anybody before we get up out of here?
Hey guys, it's, like I say every week, it's a beautiful day. God has given us another breath. He breathed life into us this morning. Get out there and show gratitude and live this life. Go out there and stay blessed, be a blessing, and have a blessed day.
God bless y'all. Thank y'all for being a part. We love y'all. Thank you. See you next Saturday. Money.
Yes.